Thank you everyone for coming to this webinar tonight. This is, we're going to be talking about the bridging and enabling courses at the University of Tasmania tonight. Just a quick bit of housekeeping to start. This information session is about some courses we offer for domestic students. When we say domestic students, we mean Australian citizens, Australian permanent residents, and humanitarian visa holders, and New Zealand citizens. I think there are a couple of international students out there. If so, don't worry, we will send you an email. You're welcome to continue watching, but we will send you an email afterwards, probably tomorrow, about what's involved for international students in particular and the information that's relevant to you. So yes, just look out for that. So I'll get started on the main thing. I will introduce you to our presenters later. My name is Dougal. I work for the Tasmanian Future Student team. So I'm responsible for helping future students to pick their pathway through university. So I deal with a lot of year 11 and 12 and adult learners as well. And I work on the Sandy Bay campus, and I'll be hosting the webinar tonight. Just before we get started, I will just do a quick, quickly acknowledge the Palawa and Pakana people of Lutruwita. We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land upon which we live and work. We pay respects to elders past and present as the knowledge holders and sharers. We honour their strong culture and knowledge as vital to the self-determination, well-being and resilience of their communities. We stand for a future that profoundly respects and acknowledges Aboriginal perspectives, culture, language and history. Now, I don't know if everyone is aware of this, but also this kind of ties into it. The University of Tasmania is #1 in the world for sustainability, which I think is a testament to how we think about the country on this great island we live on. Just go over quickly what we're going to cover today. So why study at the University of Tasmania, and sustainability, as I just mentioned, is one of those reasons. What pathways to university are available, what the study will look like, what will university cost, scholarships and financial support that's available, student support that's available, how to apply, and at the end there will be a Q&A section, and I'll tell you about that in a second. So you'll see at the bottom bar on your on the webinar that there's a Q&A button. All you have to do is click on that and you can type your questions in. You don't have to wait till the end. You can type them as you ask them, but we will address them at the end of the webinar. The webinar will go for probably a maximum of 45 minutes, and then we'll have 10 or 15 minutes to answer the questions at the end of that. So yeah, just type them in as you go along. Hopefully you can. On there. So why study at the University of Tasmania? First of all, we have above average student satisfaction scores. So that they like surveys that are done for our current students, which are done at all the universities, all the major universities. And we are well above average on the National Survey of Australian University students. 82% satisfaction with teaching quality and engagement compared to 80% nationally. We have strong graduate outcomes. These employment figures are within 4 months of graduating. There's also many longer term employment salary benefits to pursuing higher education. As far as student support goes, we offer a wide range of student services to help you with all aspects of life surrounding university. Climate action, and this is, sorry, I've just accidentally hit the forward button there. Climate action, this is from the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings, and it looks at everything we do as a university, what we teach, research, what we do, the environmental impact of our physical teaching spaces. And the university has a genuine commitment to sustainability, and it's really at the centre of everything we do. As I was saying before, that's something we are particularly proud of, and that is #1 in the world, not just in this country. So now I'm going to hand you over to Dr. Sarah Dempster. So she's the discipline lead for the pre-degree programs, which is the pathway programs or enabling programs or whatever you'd like to call it. We also have Sharon, Sharon Tristram, who's a student advisor. You won't be hearing from her for a little while, but when we do the question and answers at the end, she may be able to help answer some of those questions that Sarah and I might be struggling with, because she is the expert. So I'll hand over the controls to you, Sarah, and thank you
Brilliant.
very much.
Thanks, Dougal. Yep, I can see that. No problem. Let's test out if I can move the slide. Oh, well done. That's a good start. Thank you, Dougal, for that. Hi, everyone. As Dougal said, I'm Sarah. I run Pathways at UTAS, and I'm going to run through a presentation on what we do in Pathways. So I wanted to start off today and just get you to think about a couple of questions. So which one of these do you resonate with most? So have you never considered or planned on going to university? Maybe you planned for it, but something got in the way, or maybe you planned for university and followed through, but had a change of direction. We have all sorts of people from all sorts of backgrounds in Pathways, and there are so many stories that accompany people into our programs. So I'm going to flick to the next slide. Why complete a bridging and enabling course? So to gain entry to further study is probably the number one thing. So Pathways courses are designed to help you meet the entry requirements for further study if you're not able to currently meet them with your study and work history. But importantly, I think they build academic skills and confidence. They set you up for success by getting your study skills in shape and learning all the university systems and processes before starting a bachelor degree. That kind of confidence is actually really important when you move into university. Feeling in control, feeling like you understand the way things work is actually a really critical part of your university experience. And we have lots of support. We have expert supportive teachers who will help you on your learning journey. Every single person who teaches in my team has a vested interest in your success. They are very passionate about what they do. They are very committed to what they do as well. So we have a really strong teaching team to help you along your way. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you about two programs today, the University Preparation Program and the Diploma of University Studies. And hopefully you'll get a sense of what these two lanes are all about. So I'm going to start with the University Preparation Program. So to start with, as it says here, the University Preparation Program is made up of 8 units and it's equivalent to 1 year of full-time study. You can also study part-time if you wish to. You can also study on campus or online, or you can do a combination of both. I think the University Preparation Program caters to a broad range of students. We get students coming through who did not complete year 11 or 12. We get a lot of level 2 students coming through. We also get students who want to figure out what their strengths are at university. We have students coming into the program who just want to get a feel as to whether this is something they can do. And so that comes back to what I was saying previously about building confidence and strength and that kind of thing. We get a lot of mature age students through the program. Our oldest student is actually 72. So we get a lot of mature age students, but also career changers. So people in their 30s and 40s who are looking to change from one sort of job into another. And we get existing students looking for skills development as well. Okay. So the University Preparation Program is free. There is no cost to you. It's actually a Commonwealth supported program, which means that it will be paid for by the federal government for you. It gives you general entry into most of the courses at UTAS at the completion of the University Preparation Program. As I've said previously, we also have expert supportive teachers who will help you on your learning journey. And in terms of the program structure, you learn a whole bunch of things that are directly relevant to your experience at university. So you learn things like research methods, numeracy, communication approaches, formal writing for university, and you also get to choose from a list of electives. So you can choose a few things that you have specific interest in as well. Okay, In the university preparation program, you'll complete 8 units in total, 5 are compulsory and 3 are for you to choose. So you've got 5 core units as I've outlined here. So things like writing in practice, where you'll learn to write a really great academic essay, numeracy and data in practice, where you'll learn a little bit of maths, communication skills in practice, where you'll learn how to communicate in a university environment. But you also get some really interesting discipline electives to choose from as well. So you can do more writing with academic writing, you can choose to do more maths, but you can also do things like foundations of health and wellbeing, where you branch off into more specific areas and learn more about community support and things of that nature. You can study sustainability, and you can study things like professional skills in practice, which will actually teach you how to write CVs and how to present yourself in job interviews and so on and so forth. There's a whole range of skills that we develop for our students. We've listed a bunch of them here. We believe in strengths-based learning. We believe in teaching you really strong study strategies. And as you can see by the list, there's a lot here that you will take into your everyday life. And that's certainly something we really notice about our students, is that they take a lot of these skills with them. Now I'm going to talk about the Diploma of University Studies. So this program is slightly different in that it's tailored to specific degrees. So if you want to be a teacher, if you want to go into nursing, if you want to be a paramedic and you have that specific goal in mind, then we have a pathway to suit that goal. And we have units that you can study that will give you those specific sort of trajectories. So the university preparation program is that general kind of preparation that will prepare you very, very well and strategically for your university life. The Diploma of University Studies is more specific if you have a particular goal in mind and you want to study a particular thing. So we have pathways into education, arts, science, nursing, paramedicine, health science, social work, psychology, business, engineering, and pharmacy. You also study a combination of foundation and first year units in your pathway. So that's quite a strategic decision. So for instance, when we, in the Diploma of University Studies, you might be studying a first year psychology unit. So you might be studying something that sits you alongside those first year students, but we will offer an essay writing unit where we'll teach you how to write a really strong essay. So you do those two things at the same time. There's also credit that's provided on the completion of the Diploma of University Studies into your degree, and those credit arrangements will vary, but I'll talk about those a little bit later on. Okay. So the structure of the Diploma of University Studies, it's made up of 8 units, which is equivalent to 1 year of full-time study. You can also study part-time or full-time. You can study on campus, online, or a combination of both. It also includes several core units, and it may also include elective units where you can make choices as to what you're particularly interested in. Who is it for? Well, it caters to a broad range of students. Any students who are looking to commence their studies in a more supported environment that develops confidence and core academic skills. The Diploma of University Studies is for students who did receive an ATAR or did complete TCE but didn't gain entry into their desired course. It's also for mature age students or those returning to study, or existing students looking for skills development. Okay, so here I'm going to talk a little bit about the structure of Diploma of University Studies. So if you're in the science specialisation, for instance, you've got these 2 core units where you've got learning at university, which teaches you how to navigate the university system, and academic writing that teaches you how to write in that academic way. But you've also got discipline electives, so things like programming, things like maths, things that you'll need to know in order to be a really confident student moving into your bachelor degree. And as it says here, and 4 elective units from the first year of the Bachelor of Science. Okay. So you can expect to learn through a mix of scheduled classes, flexible learning and assessment. Each degree is made up of several units or subjects. A full-time load is 3 or 4 units at once. So, you know, for Centrelink purposes, 3 or 4 units counts as a full-time load, and part-time can be as little as 1 unit at a time. One thing that I really want to emphasize is that you can expect around 10 hours of study time per week per unit. So if you're not sure how long study is going to take, for each unit you're enrolled in, you can expect to have 10 hours that you need to dedicate to that unit per week. So as you kind of build on that, and if you're enrolled in 2 units or 3 units or 4 units, if you're enrolled in 4 units, that's 40 hours. That's the equivalent of a full-time job. So we just use that as a guide so that you can be really strategic when it comes to arranging your personal life and things that you have to do outside of study. Okay, I'll keep going from there. Okay, so credit and entry into bachelor degrees. So the Diploma of University Studies pathways provide guaranteed entry into bachelor degrees, except for paramedicine and nursing, which are competitive and subject to availability. So we have quotas on both of those both of those degrees. But you can see here that most of the pathways offer 100% worth of credit. So what that means is that if you do the Diploma of University Studies with us, that takes you 1 year, you can actually start in the 2nd year of your degree. So you're not, for those people that I meet when I'm out and about and doing outreach activities and they're worried about wasting time and that sort of thing, this might be a really good option because it means that you're accelerating through your learning. So the course, the specializations that offer 100% worth of credit, arts or media and communication, business, health science, psychology, science, and the specializations within that. We do have less credit for health science. And as you say, here we've got 50% worth of credit for social work, nursing, paramed, engineering and education, and 25% worth of credit for pharmacy. So you can see that it does vary a little bit, but there's still benefit across the board of accelerating into your degree. Okay. So there are lots of reasons to do a bridging or an enabling course. It gives you alternative entry into your degree of choice with that credit that I talked about previously. The university preparation program can help you discover your desired direction while developing academic skills at zero tuition cost. And again, when I'm out and about talking to people about these programs, I think there is a price sensitivity in some places. If people are not sure that university is for them, having zero cost associated with it is a good way to just dip their toe in the water and just see what their strengths actually are. It can help you gain skills and confidence in core areas of academic study, so writing, research, scientific principles, so on and so forth. Students, and this one we're particularly proud of actually, students who successfully complete pathway courses are typically better prepared than their direct entry counterparts. So when we look at the data and we compare the data with students who are going straight into first year, our students are equal to or outperforming those students who are going straight into first year units, which is fantastic. And the reason for that is because we're specifically teaching them the things that they need to know. Our units are staffed by skilled teachers who care about your learning, and we learn in an inclusive and supportive environment to develop your strengths. Okay, I'm not going to go through these, but these are some testimonials from previous students that we've had, just so you know I'm not lying about the quality of our teaching. We have a lot of students who are very satisfied with the educational standard that we provide and the fact that that opens up a whole range of possibilities for their future. Okay, and the last one I'm going to talk about here, some questions that we get quite a bit. So the first one, do I need to buy textbooks or equipment? For the university preparation program, we don't have any textbooks. For Diploma of University studies degree level subjects. So if you're in a first year psychology unit, for instance, there may be textbooks that are required for you to buy, but certainly for those foundation units, we don't have that. Yeah. So do you need computer access? Absolutely, you will. Learning and assessment requires online access, and there are computers available for students on campus. How long will it take? So as I said previously, the Diploma of University Studies and University Preparation Program are 1 year full-time, and allow that 10 hours per week per unit of study time. And number 4, I have a health condition. What support is available? Study materials meet accessibility standards. So everything we give you will have that accessibility standard as first and foremost. And we can provide accessibility arrangements based on your needs. You can work with an accessibility advisor on a learning access plan. So if you are someone who has an ongoing illness, or even if you break your arm or something like that, we're very interested in leveling the playing field, and we want to know how we can best support you. So we do have accessibility advisors who can work with you and us on how to best teach you. So that's a really important part of the process as well. Great. And Dougal, I think I hand back to you at this point.
You certainly do. Thank you
Great,
so much,
thank
Sarah.
you.
That's fantastic. Don't go anywhere though, because we've got a lot of questions. Well,
I'm still here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome back to me. I just wanted to go through the fact of the costs in relation to the pathway programs, or in university in general, actually. So degrees are priced by unit. So it depends on what you're studying as to how much it will cost. Now, Sarah did mention that the UPP is free, so that's great. But your cost, if you're doing a university degree, I'll give general examples here because you'd be going into like your second year as a normal student. The cheapest degree you can do in terms of your academic debt is a Bachelor of Nursing, which is about $14,000 for the entire 3 years, and then right up to $80,000 for, say, a medical degree, and everything else sort of fits in the middle. Now, you can get a help loan to cover these fees, which you pay back once you're earning over $54,000 a year, and you pay like an extra percentage in tax or something like that, depending on how much over $54,000 you're earning. Now, if you never make $54,000 in your lifetime, you will never have to pay that back. Now, we hope that's not the outcome, and you're going to get really good jobs and be earning a lot more than $54,000. But the actual cost of these degrees, you do not have to pay any money until you're earning over that threshold. So that should definitely not be a barrier to study. Obviously, you still have your normal cost of living, rent, food, all that kind of stuff. But for your actual fees, you can get a loan from the government for that, which is pretty easy and automatic to do. There are scholarships available. There's over 200 scholarships. Now, most of those will close at the end of this month, so not long for that. But you might be looking at next year as well. So they open on about the beginning of August and go through to the 31st of October. And you can find them on the University of Tasmania website. Just going back to, there are some fees that apply per semester, which are like student fees. And that is sort of rated depending on a number of things, but it's a maximum of $351 a semester, but it may not be that much. There's a few things that affect that. That is the absolute maximum. And you can, with the scholarships, you just register in the scholarships portal and you can go through those. There are a lot of them. Too much to go over here, but they are definitely available. There we go. So you can apply online through the online application portal. Then you receive an offer. You can accept this offer via our applications portal. If you're currently in year 12 and haven't applied, you have missed the deadline for the school's recommendation program. However, if you have applied, you may get an offer for a Diploma of University Studies. There's a whole lot of combinations involved there. And then you don't have to enroll until after the 18th of December. So you don't really have to do anything with that at this point. Once you enroll, it depends on a little bit on when you enroll and what you're enrolling into. There are some of the quota courses you do have actual acceptance and enrolment deadlines for your course, but we won't go into those kind of things here either. If you have any questions about that, you can get in touch. But for the Diploma of University Studies in the UPP, you just apply online. It comes up as a normal course, and you take it from there, basically. Whoops, sorry, I've gone one too far there. Know your options. So I just want to make sure I didn't miss one. Yes, I did. So study can sometimes be stressful. So we are here to help. There are a number of support options that we have available. I'm sorry, I don't know why it's doing that to me now. Sorry, I'll just get back to where we were. No, we're going the wrong way. Sorry about this. There we go. So before we get to those questions, we will be getting to Q&A shortly. Just want to take you through some of the support. In the study support page, some of the options available to you are PASS or peer-assisted study sessions. These are casual study sessions led by students who are 1 or 2 years ahead of you. They've completed the units you're doing recently themselves and are able to help you with all the tips and tricks they've learned from their own experience. Student advisors like Sharon, who I introduced earlier and you may be hearing from later, are able to help you with things like which units to enrol in, how to plan your study, as well as connect you with other student services. You'll also have access to learning workshops and the 24-hour study support platform, Studiosity, where you can submit draft assignments for feedback and chat online with a subject matter expert. We also offer career services, including student job board and a place for you to register for volunteer opportunities while studying. Career Connect can also help you with career planning, resume development, and mock interviews. Lastly, we have a wide range of counselling and wellbeing services. As a student, you can access confidential and professional counselling in person or online. You can see that support if you're experiencing issues in any aspect of your life. And now I think I've figured out the scroll button, so that's all good. We've got Know Your Options coming up in December. So basically that's designed to come up after the ATAR results have been released. This is primarily for people who've just finished Year 12, so that we can take them through what units they might like to do, what units they should do. Some courses are more restrictive on what units you're going to do. For example, nursing is pretty much a straight pathway. You do all the subjects. In art, you have a lot of options, and we can certainly help you with that. So for those of you who are physically in Tasmania, you can come along to those. There is just a slight mistake on the Cradle Coast. No, that's right, I think, the 20th. And that'll help you get everything sorted for semester 1. If you're not in Tasmania, would like someone to help a little sooner than this, you can also phone us Monday to Friday on 138827 for assistance in enrolling. So please do feel to rock up on any of those places. Obviously, Launceston's on the day the ATAR comes out. Hobart's the day after, and then you've got Cradle Coast a couple of days later. Really helpful because it can be a complex kind of a process. Now, for those, you do need to bring your tax file number with you. There's some other details, so just look that up on the website. That would be fantastic. Now's the time for the Q&A. So let's have a look at what questions we've got up here. We've got 10. That's fabulous. The first one is anonymous. Does DUS have a pathway into law? I didn't hear it mentioned. Sarah?
And Dougal, I think this is the point where we hand over to Sharon, who I can see is just going through.
Yeah, I have started going through some of the questions. So we don't actually have a direct pathway to law. But if you are interested in law, then you should apply for that as your first preference, and then the admissions team will be able to obviously assess your application. We don't assess any of the applications within the colleges, but then they'll be able to advise you on the most appropriate way of getting into your ultimate goal being law. But we don't have a law pathway at this point.
At this point,
in the future we may.
Yeah, you never know.
When I first started out in pathways, we only had three pathways, and then it
Now I've
changed
got
very
15.
quickly.
Well, I find all those options very useful, which kind of leads us to the next question. How many people typically complete the UPP or Diploma of University Studies each year? Are they popular study options? I don't know if you've got those figures to hand. From anecdotally, I can say I've helped a lot of people already this year.
Yeah, they certainly are very popular.
Yeah.
As to the exact numbers, I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are.
Don't know.
But
yeah. And the reason for that is because we have people like, we do have people who study full time, but we have a lot of people who do different things. So they'll reduce their study load, they'll pause for a while, they'll come back, you know, they'll have jobs that they're working and that sort of thing. So when it comes to, like, it's not like a school where you have everyone going through a whole year and then they neatly finish at the end. It's a little bit, because people have complicated lives, I think it's a little bit different to that as well.
Okay, what happens when you complete the US and you want to go into paramedicine, but it's not available? Sharon, I think I know the answer, but I'm going to throw to you.
I was just in the process of responding to that question as well. Okay, so paramedicine and nursing are very competitive, and obviously they're quota courses, so they have limited places available depending on which campus. So with paramedicine, we strongly recommend that students aim for the best possible results in the Diploma of University Studies in order to give you the best chance of success with your application. Sarah, are you aware of approximately the number of places that are likely to be available? Because I think it changes each year.
35 in Paramed. Yeah. I've been talking to Paramed. We're looking at maybe having an additional 10 places. So I think we might be going up to 45, but that's split between our Rozelle and our Hobart campuses.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason that that's so restrictive is because basically we need placement options. Well, when I say we, I mean Paramed. But basically they need to make sure that everyone has options for placement within that. So it is competitive.
The next one, what ATAR was the lowest for entry into the DUS for paramedicine in 2024? And that's for Rozelle.
Well, so the ATAR doesn't, so where students don't meet the entry requirement for going direct into the degree, then admissions will assess you for the pathway into that degree. So the ATAR doesn't actually apply to the DUS.
And just to give you some context, that's often why that's where I come in. That's why I am I'm introducing people to the DUS, because they either may not get an ATAR for various reasons, or they're worried, or they just want some extra time. So yeah, the ATAR doesn't come into the calculation. There's a few other things like tertiary stuff and things like that, or TAFE. But you can have a look at the entry requirements on the webpage for the Diploma of University Studies.
So for paramedicine, sorry. For paramedicine, for Hobart, the ATAR is 76, and for Rozelle, it's 88.35 for 2025.
But that's for the normal course, not for the diploma.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's what I was meaning. Yeah, for the Bachelor of Paramedicine. Yep.
Yeah. No, so DUS is sort of your way to get into paramedicine, where you don't have to rely on your ATAR. I think that's correct.
Yep.
If I start out with 4 units for the UPP and find myself struggling, do I have the option to cut back to 3 units?
Yeah.
Yes. So
literally happens all the time, right, Sharon?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you so generally we wouldn't recommend full-time enrollment for students. So full-time enrollment is approximately 40 hours per week, which is also equivalent to a full-time job. So where you also work full-time, we definitely wouldn't be recommending full-time study in that situation. But if you believe that you have capacity to start out with 4 units and then you find within a couple of weeks that the workload is too much, if you make an appointment with either myself or another student advisor within the college, we can sit down with you and work out the most appropriate unit or units to withdraw from, because as per the course planner, there is the recommended enrolment order, and we would like to have a chat with you before you make adjustments to your enrolment, because it could affect your progression within the course if you withdraw from the wrong units.
Cool. So it is possible, but you want to have a chat to someone first, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Do students on UPP pay the quarterly student fees? That's a yes, I believe.
As in this,
So it's
so
not
UPP's
quarterly either, it's semester.
the
So it's
student, the SAF,
planning. Yes, yes.
students UPP don't pay the SAF.
Oh, they don't pay SAF. Okay, cool. I was wrong. Thank you very much. That's great. They're actually, just saying no too, they're not quarterly. They're actually, those student fees are per semester, and there's only 2 semesters. But for UPP, no. When do offers get sent out for DUS?
So the admissions team are processing applications now. So if you haven't applied for 2025, I'd recommend jumping in as soon as you get an opportunity, because the admissions team are processing, and students have been admitted to the courses already.
So it's an
And
ongoing process,
yeah,
really. Like
yeah.
the student recommendation program, the first round of offers came out on the, I think it was the 26th of September, and we've had 3 rounds. So that's just the school recommendation program. That's now finished. But whenever you apply, it's sort of just going to be an ongoing process. They will assess your application and let you know pretty much as how. So, yeah. For a start on the 24th of February. Can you see that one, Sharon, and what would be your advice? It's fairly long.
So this is from Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aaron, you've completed an apprenticeship. So what I would recommend that you do is that, well, there are 2 ways of doing this. One is that you could apply, if you've already completed an apprenticeship, you could apply for your preferred course, being the degree. Where you don't meet the entry requirements for the degree, then admissions will assess you for the pathway, so the Diploma of University Studies business pathway. But if you feel that you could do with starting out in UPP, you could actually look at doing a semester of UPP, and then if you felt that you were ready to jump into the Diploma of University Studies business pathway, then you could have a meeting with the student advisor, and then we could look at transferring you into the business pathway after you've built up some skills in UPP. So that would be possible to do that. But if you feel that you might be ready to start the Bachelor, you should apply for the Bachelor of Business as your first preference. But otherwise, if you felt that you wanted to build on your confidence, you could go into the UPP. Work on
Aaron, just sorry to, you get 5, you can do up to 5 preferences on your application. So you can put there's a Bachelor at the top, then you can put the DUS with specialisation in business second, and you can put the UPP third if you want to, but you'd have a pretty good chance into getting the Bachelor of the DUS, especially if you've completed your apprenticeship. But yes, you have 5 options, so that's what Sharon means there. So preference 1, probably go for the Bachelor, preference 2, DUS, and admissions will assess your capability based on
that. Yeah, but definitely if you just wanted to start out with UPP to build on your skills for a semester and then look at stepping up to either diploma or applying for the degree, that's also an option.
One from Danny here. If my employer is considering funding university, is there a way a UTAS representative can attend our website or Teams meeting to discuss our options? Almost certainly, Danny. I would just send a query to think it's future.students@utas.edu.au, and we'll get you to the right place. But yes, we probably not attend the work site, but a Teams meeting almost certainly with someone to be able to do that, or a phone call. That should be fine. So just reach out to us. There are contact options on the university website, but that's certainly possible. UTAS, a pathway into vet studies. I presume that means vet science, not through DUS, and we don't offer veterinary science at University of Tasmania. However, for most mainland universities, where you're going to probably, if you're going to do it in Australia, is where you're going to have to do vet science. You will usually have to have an undergraduate degree anyway. So a good option for that would be a Bachelor of Biomedicine. I won't get into too many details now, but as per that one above, that question above, if you just want to contact the university, we will get back to you with some details for that. So you can certainly do your undergraduate degree at the University of Tasmania, and then do your postgrad outside that in veterinary science. But no, there isn't a direct pathway into veterinary science at UTAS. And being a veterinary nurse, I do find that a little bit of a shame, but never mind. But you can certainly do your undergraduate, and the biomedicine course is very good at UTAS. Can my home educated students enrol in UPP units in their year 11 to 12? Sharon.
So UPP is not like an alternative or a substitute for completing year 11 and 12. So students have to have completed the equivalent of year 11 and 12. So, that could be where it may have been volunteering after year 10. It could have been that there might have been a student may have completed an apprenticeship or started out in an apprenticeship. But it's not UPP is not in place of year 11 and 12.
Is there a minimum age, Darren? Is it just the normal
17? Yeah.
I hope that answers your question, Claire. And when does the prep program commence? I presume we're talking about UPP.
That would be
the
semester
24th
one.
of February. Yep,
that's the one.
Well, 24th of February for next year. It varies just on the calendar, but it's around that sort of 21st to 25th of February every year, which is the normal semester, the normal start for the year. I work full-time and am a mature age student. This program looks good to start me off. You said 10 hours of study per week per unit, and there are 8 units. Would I be able to complete this within 12 months with online, as I am not Queensland?
So no, so definitely not. You wouldn't be able to complete the course within 12 months where you work full-time, because full-time study is approximately 40 hours per week for the 4 units in each semester, and that is also equivalent to a full-time job of 40 hours. So generally where we have a student who's working full-time, they would normally enroll in 1 to 2 units. Usually find doing 3 or 4 units is way too much, particularly when you've got multiple assessments due in the same week or within a short time frame.
Okay, what is the paramedicine DUS entry criteria based on if you are a current school leaver without the required ATAR? If I have applied for paramedicine and miss out, does my application automatically transfer to a DUS application? I can probably answer this one. As long as you get a TCE, and so we don't have a name here, but if you get your TCE, that is an entry requirement to get into the Diploma of University Studies. You would not, your application wouldn't automatically transfer. You'd have to go and apply in the application portal as you did for your paramedicine for a Diploma of University Studies specialising in paramedicine. So yes, it doesn't happen automatically. You just go in and apply for that as well, if you don't already have it as an option when you did your original application. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, the entry criteria is a TCE for the DUS, and then admissions will base their acceptance on that. Anything to add to that, Sharon, or that's about?
No, so yep, that's fine.
That's
So
all
if
good?
I would recommend, if you're putting the degree in as number 1, put the Diploma of University Studies Paramedicine Pathways number 2.
Somewhere, yeah. Similar question: as the limited spots for paramedicine, what happens if you don't get accepted for nursing?
Yep, so there are again, so we recommend that students aim for the best possible results in order to give the best chance of success into their preferred location. So so depending on whether you want Hobart, Launceston, Cradle Coast, or Rozelle for nursing, like sometimes students may live sort of in between Launceston and Burnie, so therefore they might put Launceston as number 1. If they don't get Launceston, they then will be happy to, you know, have Cradle Coast as their second option. But there are, if you don't get accepted into the Bachelor of Nursing, like in your first year, there are other courses like the Diploma of Community, the Community and Health Support, and yeah, so depending on which particular field of nursing that you want to go into. So it probably would be maybe worthwhile having a conversation with future students with regards to the other nursing options. And yeah, it sort of also depends on the background when admissions are assessing the application as well. But if you do happen to get into the Diploma of University Studies, and there are places available, then yeah, usually students are successful if you've done well in the diploma, but it depends on the location that you're after. But if you haven't already applied, I'd suggest that maybe you have an appointment with future students to look at all the options available.
If you've been accepted into this course already, when do you enrol in individual units? When the timetable comes out, pretty much, isn't it?
No, so the enrolments open mid-August. Mid-October. So we are about to start the process very shortly of doing the onboarding for all new students coming into UPP, DUS, and Diploma of Pharmacy Studies. As in the student advising team will be reaching out to do the onboarding process. And then we also have an enrolment monitoring process as well, a little closer to semester starting. So we check everyone that is enrolled, check that students are enrolled correctly. Where you're not enrolled in the correct enrolment order, we will reach out to you with regards to that. So Jason, if you need some assistance with your enrolment, I'm happy to make a note and reach out to you in the next couple of days if you would like, to discuss your enrolment and help you get that sorted if you would like.
Excellent.
I've just made a note and I'll reach out to you, Jason.
As a current Year 12 student, can I apply for the Diploma of University Studies for Nursing now? Yes, no, you certainly can. Just go back into the or go into the application portal and you can apply now.
Yep.
Yes, that's not a problem at all. So I suggest you do that as soon as possible. But yeah, not a problem at all. That's pretty easy to find on the UTAS. If you just go to the UTAS homepage, there's the application portal there. And just go through the steps. If you have any problems, once again, future.students@utas.edu.au. Which units would you be recommending for semester 1 of DUS nursing?
Yep, so there's the recommended enrolment order. As part of the onboarding process to new students, so we'll be reaching out, starting that process in the next couple of weeks. But oh no, I can't see a name. I was going to. No, there's no name there because otherwise I could get in touch with you a little sooner. But definitely over the next couple of weeks, we're starting the onboarding process. So you'll be hearing from us, and you'll have a link like to the course planner with if you're part-time, it'll list the two, if you say you're studying part-time with 2 units, for example, it'll list the 2-unit enrollment. If you're doing 3 units, it'll have the 3-unit details. 4 units, it'll list the 4 units for semester 1 next year. But if you are wanting to have an appointment beforehand, if you want to reach out via the appointment hub and make an appointment with a student advisor in the college, we can certainly assist you before you receive the communication.
Okie doke. We're starting. We haven't got much time left. Sorry. Do I enroll in all 5 courses offered in semester 1 on the UPP? I think that means units. Do I enroll in all 5 units offered in the semester 1 on the UPP as a full-time student?
No, so the maximum number of units that you can enroll in is 4 units in each study period. And again, so we'll certainly be in contact with starting the onboarding process for new students who are already admitted to the course in the next couple of weeks. But if you would like to have an appointment beforehand, you're able to organise that through the appointment hub. So it's set up with the College of Business and Economics, University College. But if you need any assistance, with making an appointment, if you just reach out to u.connect@utas.edu.au, and uConnect will be able to help you organise an appointment with one of either myself or another student advisor within the college.
All right. Oops, sorry, I've lost my place here. As a mature age student, when should I expect to hear if my application for DUS nursing is successful? If you've applied, it should be soon, I think, yeah?
Yeah, so all applications are assessed by the admissions team, not within the relevant colleges. But yeah, offers are definitely going out to students. So hopefully it will be soon.
Regarding the nursing units, Sharon, we've got a name there now, Jade Cohen, if you want to reach out to her.
Sure, Jade. Okay, no problem. I'll get in touch with you.
When will I find out if I've been accepted for paramedicine for 2025? If you've applied already, that is an ATAR-based course. If we're talking just a normal paramedicine course, that'll be after your ATAR comes out, because that will be based on your ATAR score. So 18th of December at the moment is when that will come out, and you'll get if you get a high enough ATAR, you'll be getting an offer for that one. So I'm going to rush through these a little bit. Or second preference DUS paramedicine, basically the same. If you've missed the SRP deadline, or you could get the DUS paramedicine even earlier, I think, is that right? If you've applied for it already, even though waiting for paramedicine as a first preference. So you could get an offer for DUS paramedicine shortly, yeah?
This is subject to waiting for Year 12 results.
No, sorry, for the DUS. So they've got a first preference, say, for paramedicine, which they'll be waiting for the ATAR, but second preference, they've got DUS paramedicine. So they could get that second preference offered before the ATAR. Yeah, is that right?
Okay, I would be inclined to think that if it's subject to Year 12 results, then they would do, they would assess.
But the DUS, not the normal one, the DUS specialising in paramedicine, that could be offered at any time, couldn't it?
I'd have to check that one with admissions, because yeah, I'd be inclined to think that where students have applied for the degree first, that they would be assessed for that before the DUS. But I may be wrong. But yes, it might be something for.
I will check that one out for you, and I'll get back to you about that one. What is the paramedicine DUS entry criteria? I think we've already done that one. Are we okay to do a double diploma? I think that's the last question.
We don't normally have students doing You mean doing one diploma first, completing that, and then doing
Yeah,
another?
that's what it looks like. Yeah, it's another
Yeah.
anonymous one, but I would have thought no, there's no double diploma.
I mean, sometimes students might start out in a particular specialisation and then realise, so they start out in business and then realise, oh no, business is not for me. I'd like to change my direction. Yes, we do have that, but it's very unusual for students to want to do two diploma of university studies.
Yeah, I mean, you could have two diplomas, not like diplomas in other things, but for a diploma of university studies, that would be pretty, yeah, that'd be pretty unusual. But yeah, certainly you can do diplomas in other things and just have two of them. So we're out of time, I'm afraid, people. Thank you so much for your time. I will just make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't think I am. Yes, thank you so much. Now, there will be a recording of this sent out to you. If you want to rewatch it, you can also find it on the website if you just put webinars into the UTAS website. Now, it will take a couple of days for those to be uploaded, though. But yes, they are recorded if you want to watch it again or whatever. So thank you so much. And those who said we will email you back will be in touch shortly. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for Sarah and Sharon for all their help with that one. It is a great pathway option, and I find myself recommending it to students more and more, and it's just wonderful to have it available.